It wasn't that long ago, Arnie Esterer, pioneer winemaker at Conneaut's Markko Vineyard, was talking about retirement after the polar vortex disaster of this past winter that wiped out his grapes and damaged his vines. Having just turned 82, he's now talking about this being an opportunity, not a tragedy.
The question is, what went wrong this year uh, with the weather or with everything? It's a lot of it's uh, in how we grow our grapes here, and they are wine grapes, and they are very sensitive to climate. And this is one of the best regions for growing grapes. Uh, Lake Erie is the big moderating body of water, which basically controls our climate. This is the Palm Beach of Ohio. We don't go colder than the rest of the state, and we don't go hotter than the rest of the state. So normally it's a really good place to grow grapes. We've been growing grapes along Lake Erie for 150 years. I guess the problem this year is extreme weather. The Arctic vortex came down, and it's something that might only happen once in 100 years. January 6th, we had snow on the ground, and we had a big rainfall, and the rain melted the snow, and we were at 43 degrees, so we were relatively warm for January, way above freezing. And then we went to 13 below zero, which is 50 degrees, change in temperature within about 24 hours. And the vines sucked up some water because it was warm, and then their pipes all broke. And so that caused a lot of damage. And they weren't as ready for the winter and the extreme cold weather that we normally get. Normally it's gradually getting colder, and as we get to middle of January, the vines have resistance, or they have winter hardiness or cold tolerance up to 12 below or 10 below zero. They start seeing damage at 5 below. Well, this year we started seeing damage at 6 below zero, and then on the 6th of January we went to 14 below zero. So all of the above ground buds and shoots and trunks were severely damaged. After that, we had 7 more days in January which were in the 13 to 14 below zero region, and that was different. The vines recovered from some of it, but the damage was a little progressive, and it lasted for longer periods of time. It was run for almost a whole day or two. So that's what these tender, the vinifera grapes from Europe just couldn't take that this year. Although now we're seeing some of these vines are recovering, many are recovering, and so we have a lot of hope. This is really a big opportunity to look at which cultural practices work better, how we should take care of the grapes, how we should manage them, how and which grape clones, whether the Riesling is doing better than Chardonnay, whether the varieties are different, whether the clones. Now each variety, Riesling and Chardonnay, they have clones. These are selections of Chardonnay, they are selections, so they have differences. And then we have different rootstocks. Some are good, they're all work in different soils, so we will now know maybe which rootstocks are the best, what will work best in this region. Conneaut is a very special region. Conneaut Creek is an appellation. We're applying for federal recognition of the Conneaut Creek area as a very special place to grow grapes. If you're within 4 to 5 miles of the lake, you get the benefit of the lake, you get the soils, the glacial till, the special soils that do well, or that grapes do well with. And so all of these things, there's so many different variables. This is a good opportunity to look at all of those and see which ones we should use in managing our grapes. Markko Vineyard was founded in 1968 by Arnie Esterer and Tim Hubbard. And Tim and I saw the advantages of establishing the wine industry. Dr. Frank, who came from Russia to the United States, and he said, I grew wine grapes in Russia and I can do it here. And Cornell said, well, no, it's too cold. And so he went ahead and demonstrated it, and we joined and became cooperators with Dr. Frank. And we brought his vines and his technology here, cultural practice. And so we're looking at the damage that occurred from the winter and what the future holds. It's a good question because I'm getting up there, and so I had to think of what I can do or what we can do to use the advantages of this. Some people call it a tragedy, but it's an opportunity. And so the vines have been killed to the ground, and so we won't have a crop this year. And without a crop, we have many things to do. We need to reestablish the vines, and they will come back in one form or another. We don't know at this time how many of the vines will recover from above the graft. If we recover from below the graft, then we get rootstock, which is basically a wild grape and not good for wine. It's good for grafting, and we need those. So we're looking at what survived, and since we won't have a crop and we don't buy grapes because Markko Vineyard has always just produced what they grow, and so we survive by selling wine, which is an inventory. The grapes we would have picked this year in 2014 would have been our crop and our bottled wine that would sell in the year 2016. So that's 2 years down the line. The wine and the grapes as juice going to wine spend 2 years in the cellar. They need to age, go through barrel aging, and mature and become finished wine. So that's where we are at this time, and we're working with other vineyards to reestablish. We're taking down all the tops and the trunks. We're mulching those. We'll be bringing up new vines and categorizing which ones survive and which ones don't. And so we will be a better vineyard in the future. It just will take 2 to 3, and if we have to plant new vines and rebuild the vineyard from the ground up, it could take 3 to 4 years before we have a crop. Those are the problems. But we will be selling wine as long as we have inventory. They're a form of art. Mm-hmm. They basically sell as art. And so the wine industry needs to know, or we need to know, how Lake Erie, Conneaut, Ohio, the Conneaut Creek area, how the wines from here are different, how they represent the soil and the climate and the workers. We've had to start from scratch. We had people in Conneaut who wanted jobs, and the vineyard offers a lot of labor. It's very labor intensive. The vineyard requires up to 300 man hours per acre a year or more, depending on the problems.
And how many acres do you have?
We have 15 acres. So the vineyard has been 15 acres. We started and grew about 1 acre a year for 10 or 15 years. And so at 15 acres, we have more than enough grapes in a normal year to support our production. We like to produce 2,000 cases of wine a year, and we've averaged maybe 1,500. Some years have been good, others have not. So I think the 2 or 3 things, we find out which grapes grow, how they do, which ones, the very subtle differences to gain recognition for Conneaut on a worldwide scale as being a site or vineyards that produce great wine, or wine, not great wine, but very good wines that are distinctive and characteristic, and they will sell like an art. But it's also the labor. We've had, up to 20 people working in the vineyard each year. We have people that have started here 12, 15 or more years ago, who now know and understand grapevines and how to manage them, and all of those things are very important to establishment of a foundation in the industry, because it's not just the vines that survive, it's people. I'll be gone. I've only got a limited, and that's why I'm not planning any long-term, but the vineyard will be here, and the vineyard and the wine grapes are what are very important to establishing how we do things in our place. So I think it can be important for Conneaut's economic development in the future. We believe that wine is basically a food. It's to be consumed with meals. It's both healthy and nutritious. It's not to be abused. And so, considering all those things, people come and taste wine and take it home. We hope they drink it with their meals at home. We're not in the entertainment business or bartending business. And the future is with people that, because it's healthy with your meals, it helps you dissolve and assimilate your food. It's enjoyable. So with all of those things, it's a long-term, countries or towns and cities in the wine-growing regions of the world have been wine-growing towns for hundreds and hundreds of years. It becomes the economic backbone of many communities in Europe. And so our thought was that this would be something that would have duration here, as long as we could keep the vineyards going, doing what we think is, and finding the best way